Why do you continually sabotage the goals that you set? Why is it so hard to commit to something that you know you really want? Why do you sometimes make good progress and then find yourself back exactly where you started? In today's episode, I'm going to tell you why and then give you one simple thing to do that can guarantee you get the results you want. So if you're ready, let's dive right in. Let's start with a couple of statistics. The personal development industry is reported to be worth over $40 billion. The weight loss industry is reported to be worth over $225 billion. And both those figures are rising because people are always looking for the solution that will work. They will keep buying in the hope that one day the miracle answer will arrive. But the truth is there is no miracle, but there is one answer. And you'll find out about that at the end. But before I start, I want you to frame what you're about to hear with this. It's not your fault. Remember that scene from Good Will Hunting? Well, I'm here right now as the Robin Williams to your Matt Damon to tell you it's not your fault. You failing to get to where you want to go yet is not a blemish on your character. There is nothing wrong with you. You haven't been doing it wrong, and it doesn't mean to say that it can never happen for you. It has just been your brain doing what it's made to do. And you didn't know this up until now. So here's what's actually happening. You decide that you want to make a change in your life or set a new goal. So like lose weight, change job, start a business, leave your partner, move to a different country. And you really want it. And you think about it and you imagine your life with it. You have some idea of what you need to do. And if you don't, you know you can go find out what you need to do. And you probably feel quite excited at the start, or at least you feel motivated to get results and to get going. And then somewhere in the not too distant future, it all starts to fall apart. You find yourself skipping the things that you should be doing. You might start cheating. You let yourself get distracted. You find yourself saying, well, I deserve this break or I deserve this treat. You might even find yourself changing your mind about the strategy that you're using, trying to find that magic one. And now you're back at square one, or even worse. And in your brain, you're going, why have I done this again? Remember, it's not your fault. And here's why. You are consciously choosing to make this change or hit this goal. It's a desire, a dream. For some of you, it might even be a need. But your brain, well, it's not really very excited because your brain likes certainty. And change, any change, is not certain. Your brain's only job is to keep you safe and alive. And change does not feel safe, particularly when you're stressing over the goal. So if you're berating yourself, talking down to yourself, getting stressed about not achieving it, thinking about how hard it is, when there is excess stress, it feels even less safe for your brain to continue. So even though consciously building your own business, losing the weight, getting on that dating app to meet your soulmate, going for the promotion, like even though you want it and it feels good in your body, your brain would really rather you stay exactly where and how you are. So how are you experiencing this day to day? Well, you might know that you're experiencing this, but this is what's happening in your life. You're actually avoiding three pains, and we're all doing it. It's a human thing. The first pain is the pain of loss. What could I lose if I pursue this goal, if I create this change? Now, remember, brain wants certainty, and certainty creates comfort. So one of the things you won't want to lose is the habits that make you feel good, that make you feel certain, that make you feel comfortable. The beer and pizza that signals the end of the week, the box set that you binge when you come home from work every night. Your brain doesn't want you to lose habits that make you feel good, even if they're no good for you. Another big one is time. If you already feel time compressed, like there are not enough hours in the day, and you tell yourself you've got to go to the gym, your brain's going to go, no, thank you. And what about friends and love? This is a big one. None of us want to lose love. And when you change, not everybody's going to be on board with that. Not everyone's going to be your champion and your cheerleader. Some people get triggered by your change because it makes them see what they want to really do for themselves. And so you might have this subconscious belief that friends or family or loved ones are going to disappear from your life. Identity is another huge one. There is an identity wrapped up in the space that you're in right now, the results that you have right now. Let me give you an example. So I used to give myself this identity of the work hard, play hard person, and I associated wine with the play. Over the years, I challenged myself so many times to give up alcohol. And every time, every month that I did it, I counted the days till I could pour myself a glass of wine again. Well, this year in August, I did it again. And it was very different. It was very easy because I was willing to lose that identity. Finally, in the loss pain is secondary gain. Now, this can be a bit of a tough pill to swallow. Secondary gain is basically benefits that we don't always see or that we don't want to admit to, that we get from keeping the situation as it is, by keeping this part of ourselves. As an example, we all have this human desire to feel significant, and we will get it any way that we can. So someone who has a medical condition that they could get rid of with, say, changing their diet, for example, they might unconsciously choose to keep it because people ask after them. People help them out with stuff. They can avoid maybe going to work or other things they don't necessarily want to do. And so they're creating significance, even if it's not in the healthiest way. So just be aware that there might be some secondary gains that you're not seeing or you don't want to see, and you have to be willing to lose those. Pain number 2 is process pain, which is literally, how painful is this going to be for me, physically, mentally, and emotionally? Do you believe that you have what it takes to manage this pain? If you imagine going to the gym to start a fitness program, for example, how painful will it be for people to see you in your gym kit? What if the sweat shows through your clothes and people laugh at you? What if you go to lift the weight and you can't, or you can't turn the treadmill off and you fall off the back? What if you think you might not be able to walk the day after? And when you add to that the loss of your time and comfort on the sofa, binging on Netflix, there's a whole heap of pain that your brain's associated with going to the gym to get yourself fit, strong, and healthy. The other things you want to think about is, will you cope with the results that you get or don't? Can you manage that? And how will you manage other people's opinions? Because they will be given freely to you, whether you ask them or not. Your brain will get super clever at dishing you up all of the potential pain you might encounter in an effort to keep you exactly where you are. Finally, outcome pain. Now, if you are somebody who has tried and failed many times over, this one's going to hit home. What if I do this again and I fail again? This is a super common reason why people stop trying, why they stop investing in themselves and the changes that they want to make. You might also have this story like, what if I do this and I don't like the result? Or it's worse than I thought it was going to be. It's worse than what I've got now. What if the grass, in fact, is not greener? Do you see how it's not your fault? This magnificent organ, your brain, capable of the most miraculous things, can become the kryptonite to your goals. And the reason I say can is because now you have this information, you have way more power than you did before. Power that can help you do things differently. And it really comes down to this. You are wired to avoid emotional discomfort because it triggers a sense of feeling unsafe. Now, this is a bit of a bummer, to be quite frank, because it comes as part of the territory of creating change, achieving goals, and developing yourself personally and professionally. And that one answer is really very simple. The answer is you. You rewiring yourself to lean into the pain, to reframe it, give it new meaning, to learn from the discomfort, and to challenge yourself to keep going. Now, I said it was simple. I did not say it was easy, but it is the miracle answer that you're looking for. When you can learn to not just lean into the pain, but sometimes actively look for ways to strengthen your ability to deal with the discomfort, you get so strong that there is nothing that you cannot do. There is nothing that you are not willing to try, because you know ultimately, It's just emotional discomfort. Unless, of course, you're going to throw yourself out of an aeroplane or, base jump or do something ridiculous like that. That's a whole other story. So I said to you at the beginning that our How to Action ASAP this week was very simple, and it really is. I just want you to practice a statement or a question, which is when you're finding yourself doing things that are not helpful towards your goals, is to ask yourself a very simple question. Do I choose the pain of growth now or the pain of regret later? That's it. Do you choose the pain of growth now or the pain of regret later? And just on a side note with that, you don't really get to choose the regret because it will be there. If there is something that you are passionate about or desperate to achieve or wanting to try, and you get towards the end of your life and you haven't done it, the regret will weigh a ton. I think there's a saying about that somewhere. So that's the question. And let yourself do that when you're trying to get yourself to the gym, when you're trying to make a better choice, when you're trying to do something in your business, when you're trying to, get on the dating app, whatever it is. What is the pain that you're willing to feel in order to get what you want? I hope this has been able to reframe for you that you can give yourself so much more self-love and compassion around not being where you want to be yet. And hopefully having now some tools in your toolbox to understand what's been going on in your brain and give you the power to lean in. If you love this episode, I'll be super grateful if you could give me a follow and even leave me a review. It really does help get me out there to a bigger audience and help more people. Please do share on social media. And as always, I'm extremely grateful for you being part of my podcast community. I'll speak to you in the next episode of the Build Your Business Impact podcast.